It is not an understatement to say navigating this pandemic feels like walking through a maze. We hit dead ends, we have to turn around and find new ways to move towards the end. And all of that gets harder and more frustrating when the maze keeps moving on us. New variants and changing guidance from health officials are new twists and turns that weren't there when we started this journey. Even one doctor says it can be overwhelming.
It is confusing. It does feel like a bit of a choose your own adventure. If this, then this.
I'm Ben Briscoe. From now until 6, we're going to dig into how we can all get to the end of the maze safely by making it the latest information from health experts and the latest guidance. And we want to make that really clear and easy to understand. We're going to walk you through the timeline of what you can do if you actually have COVID. Starting with that dreaded phone call. It is from family or friend or even work telling you that you were exposed to COVID-19. That is when a waiting game begins. You'll start monitoring if you have any symptoms of COVID. Throughout the pandemic, the key warning signs have seemed to change on us. It's no longer just taste and smell. Here's what doctors say about Omicron. Doctors say patients can experience a wide range of symptoms. People can even have no symptoms at all. Doctors say the 3 big symptoms to watch out for, though, are a sore throat, a fever, or congestion. A Novant health doctor says COVID is widespread, and you should really assume you have COVID if you have any of those. That can get really tricky, though, with children.
Is that the percent positives in children are higher for the children that are asymptomatic, probably being tested for exposures, than even the symptomatic.
Adults also have asymptomatic cases of coronavirus. It is just so much more common in kids. So you're waiting for your symptoms to appear. Now you need to figure out if you should get tested, when, and how. Well, you got options there. The State Department of Health says when to get tested depends on if you have symptoms and if you're vaccinated. Vaccinated people should get tested 3 to 5 days after exposure, even if they don't have symptoms, just to make sure you're not spreading it to other people. Unvaccinated people should get a COVID-19 test as soon as possible if you have symptoms. Unvaccinated people with symptoms or without should also wait 6 days before getting tested. Now you can pick between 2 types of COVID-19 test, PCR test and rapid test. The big difference comes from return time. Rapid tests, they come back really fast, as quick as 15 minutes. PCR tests are now taking days, sometimes even more than a week. PCR tests should be used as the gold standard in the past. That's what we were always told. But that is changing. Now it feels like doctors are pushing for the rapid test. Here's why.
It looks like the rapid test is failing, but actually it's accurate to answer the question that we're mostly interested in, which is, am I at risk to my neighbors and do I need to isolate?
The doctor said PCR tests should really be used only by a prescription from a doctor, but limited supply means you might have no other choice. So you took the test, another phone call. Someone on the other end tells you that you tested positive. You might start to panic right here. The good news is that we have come a long way during the pandemic. There are treatment options for you. Monoclonal antibody treatments became popular through the pandemic. Doctors saw great results early on. The companies that produce the treatments now say they don't work against Omicron, though, since the variants have so many mutations. It makes antibody treatments less effective. But new treatments could soon become widely used. The FDA gave emergency use authorization to pills from Pfizer and Merck. Both companies say the pill cuts down on COVID deaths and hospitalizations. President Biden said yesterday he plans to double the country's order of the Pfizer pill. Here's where things have really changed the most recently about isolation. You have coronavirus. How long do you need to stay at home? Well, the guidance has changed several times in the past week or so alone. The CDC says people who get coronavirus can now isolate and then leave that after 5 days. That is if you got no symptoms or your symptoms are improving. The CDC says you don't need to get a test before coming out of isolation. However, feel free to take a rapid test if you want one, and you can actually find one to take.
CDC makes guidance and recommendations in the real world, not the world that we wish existed. And right now, there aren't enough tests.
The CDC says they changed their guidance because you aren't as contagious after 5 days. Keep in mind, your employer could still require a negative test before you return to work. Now, if you do go back to work and leave isolation, the CDC says this is really important here. You need to wear a mask for another 5 days when you're around people. That even includes people inside your own home. You are still contagious until after the 10th day. But even after you head back into the world, the COVID journey is not over for some folks like Deborah Williams. This triad woman is one of about 2/3 of COVID survivors who have at least one lingering symptom 6 months after recovery. The condition is so common, it now has a name: long-haul COVID.
I lost my hair, just handfuls and handfuls of my hair, and I haven't been able to walk right. I can only get shoes on like this. My leg has been swollen and they don't know why. There's no reason for it to be other than COVID.
You just really feel for her. One Cone Health doctor has noticed long-haul COVID affects far more women than men, a disparity that could be explained by a stronger immune response in women. And the numerous side effects range from mild to severe. The CDC also says you should see a doctor if you have any of these common leftover side effects. We're talking difficulty breathing, fatigue, brain fog, cough, sleep problems, just to name a few. Your healthcare provider can usually help develop a treatment plan to at least lessen the effects of some of those long-haul COVID effects. Now, doctors say you might be able to get ahead of this whole timeline right here by doing one simple thing: getting vaccinated. They say vaccines remain the most effective tool we have to keep people from getting really sick with coronavirus. Doctors are also encouraging everyone eligible to get a booster shot. Here's who that applies to now. Right now, everyone 16 years or older can get the Pfizer booster shot. If your first 2 shots were Moderna or Pfizer, you need to wait 5 months. It used to be 6, but they pushed it up to 5 because of Omicron. If you went with J&J the first go around, you're eligible for a booster after just 2 months. The CDC is expected to expand booster eligibility to everyone 12 and up soon. While doctors want you to get a booster, the CDC says right now you are still considered fully vaccinated without one.
That definition is not changing, but consistent with how public health has historically viewed or even talked about how we recommend vaccines. We are now recommending that individuals stay up to date with additional doses that they are eligible for.
Okay, that was a whole lot to take in. Don't worry, we'll be here to walk you through it. It's also on our website if you need to learn more. Just search WFMYnews2.com.